Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Northside Plywood Pop One Podcast. I'm here with my boy Devin Schlink again. We're going to do a little video today discussing the regional that we did with Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Rogue Gamings.
Yeah.
It was their first regional. They were very professional about it.
Oh, yeah.
Really great judge. These guys were just really cool. You know, when they had to do business, they did business. But other than that, you know, you could sit there and you could have a pretty decent conversation with these dudes. They had a good sense of humor. It was a really fun time. I enjoyed the little venue that they chose. It was very spacious. AC was on point. It was just a good time, man. And you went out there. Me and you discussed the day before. You said, man, let's get ready for Nats. Let's go crazy. Well, the list comes out, and Devin Schlink isn't on the list.
Yeah.
We miscalculated.
Yeah, so I got my invite last year in like February, March time frame. I got like third, and yeah, that video is actually linked on the profile. Check it out.
Yeah.
But so I found out they weren't doing the rollover with the Corona and everything, and I didn't know this. So the list came out on like the 17th, and I was like, well, where's my name? And I found out that they weren't rolling them over, and I was like, oh no, I haven't topped the regionals this year.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I gotta take this one serious, and I was like, all right, well, this is the last one close to me, and I already bought my plane ticket, so I wasn't going home without an invite.
Yeah, so you came over here, and I was like, okay, we gotta figure it out. What are you gonna play? It's kind of gave me Vegas vibes, you know, back where you were coming back, and we are just like, okay, Tears band, what do you play? So you come over here, you had a Runick stun.
Yeah, it was like a Brave Runick package, and so I didn't know what to play. I was short of Super Heavy Samurai.
Yeah.
I was waiting on 2 cards came in the mail, and I just haven't play tested it enough. I'm very hands-on. I like to read the card with my hand and like go through the combos. So I was like, I don't have a deck to play. And a little behind the scenes, I come over to you, and I'm playing that Brave Runick stun. I'm like, let's try it out. And then I get ogred, and then I get gammaed, and then I get ashed, and like it just played into everything. And I was like, okay, I'm like 0 for 5 against you. This isn't gonna work. So I go back home. It's like 1 a.m. and I'm like, well, I know how to play Nat Runick. So let me throw a deck together. So I unsleeved 20 cards, re-sleeved my Naturia cards, and then was like, well, we're gonna see how it does.
You went out there with something that you're very familiar with. You've done damage with this deck before. But going into a brand new format, I mean, we're brand new, and we still have lingering from our previous format because we don't have a ban list yet. So we're in a very situational and confusing time right now with this game. So you went out there with a deck that you know, and lo and behold, you got your invite, man. Isn't that crazy? Congratulations. You got the deck profile through Team Bortle. Shout out them.
Oh, yeah.
They went and picked it up for you. You can go to the channel. Link will be in the description. But today we're just going to talk about how it felt with the new cards around, everything going crazy, and playing a deck that I think a lot of people just kind of forgot about. And how impactful it'll be in the future.
It's very interesting, and I don't have too much insight on how it's going to be, because luckily I faced a majority of that old format, you know, kind of thing we're in without the list. And I faced one Pearly, which I wanted to face just because I think it's a little easier to deal with just to be able to kaiju them and just try to stop the Zeus, rather than dealing with Super Heavy's 20 hand traps plus 1 card combos, and you know, it's very tough to play around. I luckily dodged Super Heavy all day, so I'm not sure how well this is going to do into it, just because my only real outs were Droll and Dark Ruler. So, I mean, if you see them, great, but if you don't, looking through the deck and me just theorizing, I don't think there's much you can do if you don't open those powerhouse cards, pre-side. And then Pearly, I think, is a lot more manageable, even though the Zeus Turbo and things like that hurt, but with the Nat Beast and just stopping all those spells, it plays into it much better, just because Heavy Samurai can just place scales and, you know, things like that. They don't activate spells, and it just gets weird that the things they can do before you can like stop them. So
definitely. So I watched the profile, and you had a little issue with Dino. Run us down with the whole Dino situation.
So yeah, I got a draw against Dinos. I've always had an issue with Dinos playing this deck. So like miscellaneous source is a card. I cannot activate anything. Like none of my stuff is going to affect them, and I can't just keep making bodies to stop them because Tyranitar is just going to keep sending my stuff to the grave, and I'm going to keep taking damage. So there's just not a viable way without a floodgate or a non-activated effect to stop them, and they are a go second deck. So everything they do is evenly Dark Ruler. I got Kura card for my life for like 3, but I survived. But still, like it's all those go second cards, and then like normal Overraptor, or they just have the miscellaneous source, which he did, and then I didn't die, and that's when you can beat them. And I just didn't draw a Runick, and then go to game 3, and I had to deck him out game 2, or I think it was game 2. I had to deck him out. So by the time I had to deck him out, going into game 3, it ended up being a draw.
I got you. Well, we're going back into a very heavy hand trap format. We're seeing a lot of Droll. We're seeing a lot of Gamma.
Yeah. We're
seeing some Ash. What hand traps really hurt Nat Runick the most?
So the main ones that I was scared of was Gamma and D-Shifter.
Okay.
Like Ash can hurt. But the reason I played this version over the like a stun or more draw engine, because Droll hurts more. But Ash doesn't hurt as bad. Like it sucks not to get Fountain, but then you have the Naturia draw, the Charge Warrior draw, or the Coral draw. Like so, the Ash is fine. Ogre's fine. Just depends when they do it, but it's still not bad because I'll still get that search or whatever effect it was.
Yeah.
And then D-Shifter really hurts. I played under it the best I could. I lost every game I got D-shifted except one, where I could survive, and then one from there. And then Gammas can be like really crucial, especially if you just need something to go off. And then with Droll, I'm not super afraid of Droll just because I can do everything in the draw phase as you should with this deck. Like I ended up getting my 2 searches and full comboing, and then my final search was my 3rd search. Now granted I could have gone 1 more, but that's 3 searches under a Droll per se. So, that's not as bad. Yeah, this is the list I played. 2-card change the way I played in the future after the event. So most updated list. We've got 3 Mole Cricket, 3 Camellia, 1 Sunflower, 3 Blessing, and 3 Tree. This is your standard lineup. You need to see one of these. All great cards. You need to see the Naturia engine. 2 Kurakara in the main. This was just a good cash out. I still think that was the best deck, so ran cash, as well as just trying to get over Super Heavy Samurai. 3 Droll, best hand trap in the format right now. 3 Tip, 3 Freezing, 3 Destruction, 3 Slumber, and 3 Flashing. And then 1 Dispelling and 1 Hammer instead of the called by. Extra Runick name is always good, especially a different name, and call by just wasn't impactful. The 2 Fountain, still believe this is 100% correct. And 3 Dark Ruler for any other combo deck, and then it just combines really well with Exciton Knight. Extra deck, 2 Hugin, you don't need any more. 2 Jerry, 1 Munin, your time card. 1 Donner, your Ibbly out, as well as just generic pops, which is great. We've got Barkion, Coral Dragon, Beast, and Charge Warrior. Your Spell Negate, your Trap Negate, your Popper and Drawer, and then your Drawer. Your powerhouses, your Barone, and your Chingyang. Multiple uses on both if you just need to negate and they're on top deck, or you just banish stuff from field, grave, non-targeting, things that you just can't deal with that can't be destroyed, like a Shangri or things like that. And then Dugaris, Exciton. Dugaris is amazing. Exciton's just really good with cash boards as well as Dark Ruler. And then Maguska, I've still to this day haven't summoned that card, so I don't play it. Instead I play Blood Memphis.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's good in time. That's really it. I know Baguska's uses, and it's probably good if I faced Super Heavy. That was the logic there, but nah, I put it back in because what a flex.
I got you.
Side deck, went with the Bestial package.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Math Mech's rough. They have so many hand traps and one-card starters, as well as Branded can be real. I don't want to get gimmick puppeted, and Super Heavy can do that as well now, so definitely need outs like this. Okay. And then 3 Kaiju. This is the complete wrong Kaiju to play. Don't play it. Play Gamma Seal. But they were selling them at the event, and Gamma Seal's like $4 right now, and I was like, I'm not spending $12. I'll play my Trap Trick Structure deck, so.
I hear you.
2 Grave of the Super Ancient Organisms. This is great against Cash. I also put it in against Branded. Speedroid was there. You could play it against them, against their high levels. At Locals, I used it against VW because of all their high levels. Any deck that combos and just starts making high level things, you can put it in against Super Heavy, and then just dodge their Zeus, but all their Synchros just wouldn't be able to activate under it. Has a lot of uses, and all the generic back row I can stop, and then their Cosmic Cyclones are always targeting Fountain, so traps are very good in this deck. And then 3 TC Boo for the same reason.
Alright.
Yeah, this only conflicts with one thing, and that's Camilla Sunflower. Other than that, like, use Sunflower until they're cleared off your board, and then after that, you sit on a Floodgate plus your Negates plus your Runicks in hand, and even if they got rid of the Fountain, which happened in one duel, they got rid of both, you have a Floodgate that they're just not outing, so.
Very sweet.
And then 3 Ash. This is just for Branded, just because it can end their turn, as well as decks that Droll doesn't affect as much. So like every time I face Cash, they don't play super hard into Droll unless they got a Terraforming or sometimes the Field Spell or something like that. So like I Ashed a Unicorn and that just kind of ended his turn. It can come up with things like that, and I just think that's better than Droll. So against that matchup, I would always have my Drolls out for the Ash, and in that case, and I was going first, so I thought that was better to draw into.
Okay. Well, show me, you were telling me earlier about a way that you played around Droll.
Yeah, I opened a pretty good hand. I mean, like, it can be done several ways, but I opened, I don't remember what it was exactly, but it was 2 Tree, this, plus a Blessing. Yeah, okay, so yeah. One other, card or whatever. Well, I'm in draw phase. Maybe it was like one more Runick, I don't know. But, yeah, so I go draw phase, I special. I get my Hugin out, and then activate effect, I discard the tree to search. So I'm like, cool, I have Fountain. And then off of the tree, I grab, since I already had Blessing, I grab Camellia here to do the full combo. So I grabbed Camellia, and I got my Fountain, and then here, I got both searches, and then he tried to Droll me. So he only had 1 card in hand, and I was like, we're still in the draw phase, and he's like, oh, okay. So at this point, I knew what he had. So I didn't dump Tree off of my normal summon. Instead, I dumped the Mole Cricket to do the full combo. So I dumped Mole Cricket, and then I Blessinged it back out, specialed, milled 2, which was like 2 more Runick cards, and then here I ended up let's see, oh, he had a monster on board, or 2 monsters or whatnot, so I Sync 6'd here, and then I made a Coral Dragon, discarded Tree, and then I think that was my final search, and then I got the search off of that, which I think was just another Blessing. And then he Drolled me. That was his last card. I got my discard. I got my search. I still had a Mole Cricket on board. I had Fountain on board. And his board's cleared, and then I just set Blessing. Like, what are you going to do? Empty, top decking. I got Drolled. I searched 3 times in a turn. If this leaves, now I draw. And then I drew 3 on his turn because my mills were like Runicks. So I'm in such a good spot, and the Droll doesn't matter. Like, if you have Tree with a Runick card, the Droll doesn't matter because you're double searching anyway. And then you can just choose where you want to search later.
Alright, well, like I said earlier, we're getting into a new format, waiting on ban list. but we still got to plan for nationals just a little bit. Do you think this has a chance to go into Nats, or are you still going to try to stick with the Super Heavy Samurai transition?
So I'm not exactly sure. I mean, Super Heavy is amazing, and I keep seeing the results, but there was none topped.
Really? Yeah. Now
I didn't see any in top 8, and I don't think any was in top 16. Surprisingly.
So we had Kashtira, Pirelli, Nat Runick, and but it was more Pirelli than Super Heavy
3
Samurai.
in top 8, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, well maybe that's a little something. Shout out to Alex. Well, he'll be here tomorrow, giving us an in-depth profile that he did, because he actually topped as well.
Yep.
And Pirelli, huh?
Yeah, so Super Heavy just didn't get to perform, which was very interesting. I think it's going to be highly represented, and I think this deck that's going to be its by far worst matchup. And it really just depends if we get a list or not. I mean, that's going to affect a lot. But if, this deck's phenomenal in old format, and luckily all my matchups, except one, were old format, which I think is why I thrive so well, because I was fearing the Pirelli and Heavy Samurai all day. Pirelli, you have a much better matchup, but Samurai, I think you really just kind of get blown out the water. I haven't got to play test against it yet, but that's why I didn't even want to play the deck, just because I was like, everyone's going to be on it, but surprisingly they weren't. I faced 3 cash, and, that's not the worst matchup by any means with this deck.
No.
But I don't think I'll be playing it going forward, just because my next event is probably going to be Nationals, and I just know Samurai's going to be there, and if they are, it's just not going to work out. Some are going to be on Spell Canceller. The hand traps are going to hurt. I don't think it's the move. Maybe someone will prove me wrong. Maybe it'll be me and Taco, Maybe I'll prove myself wrong. But I don't think it has a good matchup, and I don't think it can keep up with that deck specifically, or even Pearly, depending on their hands and things like that, because this deck has no hand traps. It's got a board breaker, it's got the one good hand trap, but other than that, you've got one pop, one negate, one, and then you've got your Nat Beast or Barkion and things. It's very good against those specific matchups, and I'm not sure. I think I'll just be playtesting Samurai, but always keep it in my back pocket by far. It's my favorite deck. I've had Runick since pre-release, and it always have a place in my heart for sure.
Well, that's good, man. It's good that you have a deck that you like and that you have fun with, and that's really what it's all about. Yesterday I love going to regionals just because you find all these people that they're not every player at a regional is like some super heavy competitor. You got people that just want to come play in a big tournament, and I met a lot of those dudes yesterday, and they were really cool. A lot of different decks. You go to these events and you think you're going to see 1 or 2 decks. It's like, that's not the case. I saw like 15 to 20
Speedroid, Eldritch.
I played against
awesome.
Bestial Stun. Shout out
Kobe Short.
Yeah, shout out Kobe Short, Pandemonium. And shout out to all the Pandemonium and Goo Gaming as well. We got a lot of friends with those guys, and it's always us at the end, man, every single time. And I love it, I really love it. But other than that, you got any more shout outs? You got anything you want to say?
I think that's it. Once again, shout out Pop On Podcast. Check us out. Preston, of course, always. Everyone on the team. It's like 9 of us. Y'all's
We're
names.
7 now.
Yeah, y'all's names. Everyone who's helped me get here. Panda's Paradise, our locals. Shout out Action, of course. Love Will over there. Just everyone who's helped us play test. I just got back from a trip like 5 days ago.
You did.
Hadn't got to play test at all, and I got Wednesday night locals. Got to play, didn't play this, but it just showed me, how it would do in a way, and where to interact, and the new decks and things like that. So had a little Wednesday? So like a 3-day learning curve. So shout out to the locals for that.
I can say one thing. I'm so glad we already got our plane tickets. I'm so glad we're not going to be doing last chance qualifiers.
I wasn't going to let that happen. I bought the plane ticket. I was like,
yeah, I got to do it.
I got to play for real today.
You're definitely in your zone yesterday, man. That's awesome, dude. Well, congratulations again. We'll see you at Nats.
Yep.
Peace.
See ya.